Well, you talked about how you found out that they're trying to set up Drake in LA at one point. What exactly was that about?
That was about like him and Diddy were beefing, right? They had a little beef over something in Miami outside of Live.
I think Diddy allegedly hit him or something. I think it was over the Start from the Bottom beat, where I guess it's supposed to go to Diddy and Drake took it and something silly like that.
The game just dropped a bomb. Word is, Diddy didn't just warn Drake, he threatened him. And not in a subtle way either. Allegedly, he told Drake he'd better follow his rules. Sounds familiar? That's because insiders say Diddy tried to control Drake the same way he once did Meek Mill. But here's the twist. This isn't just any artist we're talking about. This is Drake. A guy who, once upon a time, actually looked up to Diddy.
I studied the stories that Spoon used to tell me from Howard days and just how relentless you were, you know what I'm saying? And now all my brothers behind me, we're trying to do the same thing, following your footsteps. You know, every night we're out here pounding the pavement, doing what we can do.
Things spiraled fast once Cassie's name entered the picture. This isn't the first time she's been tied to serious drama. Remember Kid Cudi's story? During Diddy's federal heat, Cudi claimed Diddy snapped when he learned Cudi was seeing Cassie. The guy allegedly broke into his house, tampered with security cameras, locked his dog in the bathroom, and even firebombed his Porsche. That's not gossip. Cudi filed police reports. Now imagine what could have gone down with Drake. If Diddy went that far over Cassie once, what would he do if he thought Drake crossed that same line and stole a beat in the process? This all traces back to December 2014, DJ Khaled's birthday party at Club Live in Miami. The industry's biggest names were there. Drake was riding high on 0 to 100, a track blowing up and snagging Grammy nods. But the beat? Diddy claimed it was his. He allegedly got it from Boy One Da and had it shelved for months. Drake didn't wait. He dropped the song. Diddy saw that as pure disrespect. When they finally met that night, witnesses say Diddy walked up, said a few words, and hit Drake so hard he ended up in the ER with a shoulder injury.
Although there was no footage of this, based on people that I've spoken to close to the situation, Diddy really did punch Drake in the face.
Oh, I got that call 4 o'clock in the morning.
But that slap? Word is, it wasn't just about a beat. The streets have been buzzing with whispers that there was a deeper layer to it all. Allegedly, Diddy tried to make a move on Drake, offered to take him shopping, a gesture that seemed loaded. But Drake, not naive to the game, saw through it. Not long after, he was linked to Cassie, and things took an even darker turn. Just before that year's OVO Fest, the one where Cassie made a surprise appearance, things reportedly spiraled. In court, Cassie testified that the night before her trip, Diddy got violent. So violent, in fact, she needed stitches. A plastic surgeon named Dr. Rock had to step in. Still, she showed up at Drake's event, styling her hair to cover the injuries. 2. Diddy, this wasn't just betrayal, it was layered humiliation. First, Drake rejected his advances. Then he dropped 0 to 100 using Diddy's beat. And finally, he showed up with the woman Diddy was allegedly obsessed with. In Diddy's mind, that wasn't just disrespect, it was war. There were even whispers. That Drake signed Cassie to his OVO label, maybe not officially, but perception is everything. And to someone like Diddy, who thrives on control and image, that move was a slap in the face. It wasn't just personal, it was public. Even Lil Duval's old tweet resurfaced. I heard Diddy swung on Drake in Miami for saying hello to Cassie. At the time, people laughed it off. But now, that post feels like a breadcrumb in a much bigger story. And just when things seemed to boil over, Diddy made a surprising move. In August 2015, he rolled up to the Breakfast Club, all smiles, brushing. Off the tension, saying it was all love, no beef. But behind the scenes, the energy told a different story.
Like, what made you put hands on Drake?
I did not put hands on Drake.
Oh.
And I do not want any problems with Drake. Drake is, right now, that's all I got. That's all I have to say. He's putting in his work. I didn't do nothing to Drake.
Well, you talked about how you found out that they're trying to set up Drake in LA at one point. What exactly was that about?
That was about like him and Diddy were beefing, right? They had a little beef over something in Miami outside of
like
Live.
I think Diddy allegedly him or something. It was over the start from the bottom beat, where I guess it's supposed to go to Diddy and Drake took it and something silly like that.
But if you believe the word coming out of LA, things got real grim. Allegedly, Diddy put a quiet bag on Drake's head. Multiple sources claimed there was street talk about a reward for anyone who caught Drake slipping in the city. It wasn't public, but it was known in the right circles, enough to put serious heat on Drake's movements.
You know, Drake here, Drake there, who will run up on him. I'm not saying it, you know, it didn't come from Diddy directly, but LA get tricky. So, you know, when there are beefs and they are here, no matter who it is, like there's certain people that are gonna get called, and I'm one of those people. So, you know, I had privy, you know, Drake to a little information. Like I said, I don't know where it came from, but I always, you know, it's like my brother. So I hit him. I told him like, yo, this is what it is, but I got you. You know, we over here, and I'm pretty heavy. So, you know, we straight.
That's when Drake made one of his sharpest moves. He linked up with the Game. Now, Game isn't just industry. He's deeply rooted in LA's streets and knows how to navigate real-life situations beyond the spotlight. According to Game himself, people had approached him, trying to get him to line Drake up. But instead of playing along, Game switched lanes. He chose loyalty over pressure and made it clear he wasn't about to sell Drake out. In fact, he protected him, making sure nothing went down on his watch.
Y'all better not come to my studio. Y'all better not come to my funeral with that fake shit.
And that protection didn't come free. It came with a price. In return, Drake handed the Game the track 100, a major cosign at the time. They even shot the video right in Compton, making it loud and clear where the loyalty stood. It wasn't just music, it was strategy, survival, and street politics all wrapped in one.
And Drake comes to Compton to shoot the video.
100. He shot it on Brazil and Wilmington.
What all happened during that video? What was that?
He pulled up, Drake gave us love, done and cleared it for me, didn't charge me. Drake didn't charge for the verse. Drake actually brought his film crew to film it for us. That's what he wanted to do. We was on the famous Brazil and Wilmington shooting it. We had to move blocks. And you know, when we move blocks, we send the little homies to do what they need to do. Drake kind of seen some activity and, you know, shit. He did what a motherfucker you supposed to do. He got out of there. So we sent somebody to get him. Bro, it's cool. That ain't for you. That's for us. Because, you know, we seen shit going on. But, you know, we moving blocks. We not just going to hit the block without the block being right. So we had to make sure the homies, you know, when they cleared the block.
Listen closely to the bars on 100. Game lays it out plain. Call me to set you up, want me to come and wet you up, cause you out of town now like Biggie. Then he flips it with, heard about the ish Diddy on, so I came through to vest you up. That wasn't just rap, it was coded truth, revealing the pressure Drake was under and the shield Game provided. Still, even with Game backing him, Drake stayed on high alert. According to WAC 100, during the video shoot in Compton, Drake spotted some unfamiliar faces and didn't hesitate. He dipped into a van, ready to get out fast. Didn't matter that the place was secured. Drake wasn't taking chances. WAC had to personally calm him down, assuring him they had eyes everywhere. Only then did the cameras start rolling again.
Bodies.
Drake's been dropping the story in code all along. Take 400 PM in Calabasas, he raps, "They trying to tempt me, the higher I get, the less they accept me. Even the OGs trying to press me. No way out cause I'm already in it." Then comes the real jab. Take that, no love in their heart so they fake that. That flipped line? A clear nod to Diddy's signature style, followed by "No way out," a slick reference to Diddy's classic album. But here's the twist. Drake's been unusually quiet throughout this whole Diddy saga. After getting punched and reportedly having a bounty on his head, most rappers of his caliber would have fired back. Lawsuits, statements, social media blasts. Yet Drake stays silent. Not weakness, strategy. Cassie's court testimony sheds light on why. Diddy was notorious for recording everything at his wild parties, using those tapes to control, blackmail, and threaten. Drake was no stranger to those scenes. Videos even exist of him freestyling before he blew up, rapping about going to Diddy's parties. So if Drake was there back then and those parties were being recorded, maybe Diddy's got something on him too. Something Drake can't afford leaking. That silence? It might be his safest move, especially since prosecutors will be playing all that footage they seized when raiding Diddy's home. Maybe some of that footage just so happens to feature Drake himself. One user summed it up perfectly. "I'm confused about Diddy. You watch him cut Cassie loose, but then get furious when she talks to other guys? That's some wild energy." Another pointed out that in 2025, beefing over started from the bottom has taken on a whole new meaning. Someone else hit hard with this. Diddy had all those rappers popping off like strippers at Magic City. It's crazy, and honestly kind of sad, how one man's fear and control could hold so much power, making people bend over backward to protect their careers, their families. So what's your take on all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're tracking every angle, every twist. And hey, if you're here for the raw, unfiltered truth and the hottest scoops, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for what's coming next.